Now we'll move on and we'll answer the question, what does it do? When it comes to choosing a technology, it really helps to have a list of specific requirements for a part. And each individual situation typically only has a few of these requirements. So for example, you might just need a high temperature resistance, or you might just need something that's really strong. But when you step back and look at all of the possible applications, there's a pretty long list of these requirements that you could run into at some point. I've tried to compile just the most common ones on the next few slides, and we'll see how all the different materials compare with their specifications for each technology. I'll start here with some general recommendations for strength and stiffness. Then we'll look at some data for context here in the next slide. We can really break it up into two scenarios. A part can have either a planar or an isotropic requirement. If you just need planar strength, it means you're only dealing with forces in one direction, and that's where FDM can be a really solid choice. You'll want to go with one of the stronger filaments like nylon, ABS, or ASA, and look for filaments with chopped fiber mixed in to get some extra stiffness. Markforged Onyx is an example of that because it's a carbon fiber nylon. If you need even more strength, you can take advantage of Markforged continuous fiber reinforcement, and that can make parts as strong as aluminum. With that said though, we still can't ignore the Achilles heel with FDM printing, which is dealing with forces in multiple directions. FDM prints can be incredibly strong within a layer or a plane, but they're always going to be weaker between layers. SLA parts are chemically bonded between layers and within the layer, so they're equally strong in all directions. And if you're going the SLA route and you need a strong material, look no further than Formlab's resin called Rigid 10K. It's incredibly strong, and you'll see that it's one of the best all-around engineering materials. SLS is a good secondary option here because it's much stronger between the layers than FDM, and you get some pretty cool options with a nylon 11 that has some chopped carbon fiber mixed in. That's the strongest one available from Formlabs. So those are our go-to options for strength and stiffness, but for everything in between, here's our first comparison chart. This one plots the tensile or Young's modulus of each material, so you can get a good idea of the overall stiffness of each one of them. A couple things worth noting here. One is how high Rigid 10K is compared to all the other 3D printing materials that are more common. And this is actually where its name comes from because it's withstood 10 GPa during this test. Then we have Markforged continuous fiber here at the bottom, which needed its own separate graph because it's on a whole other magnitude compared to some of these. So if you really need that planar strength or you can multi-piece your part, it's really hard to beat that continuous fiber. Another useful stat for strength in 3D printing is flexural strength. So here's a comparison for those. We've got a similar lineup with Rigid 10K being a strong contender in most cases, unless you really need to bump into that continuous fiber. This is probably also a good time to mention that this webinar will be uploaded to YouTube later, so if anybody is rapidly reaching for the snipping tool to get a screenshot, we'll make sure you get access to this later.